long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Marketing didn't drive movies the way it does now. Instead of harnessing merchandising power, pre-existing fan bases, and social media, movies existed on their own creative merit, looking strictly to the box office to make the big bucks. However, in 1977, all of that changed when a marketing juggernaut was born. Since the successful release of the first Star Wars movie, now called Star Wars Episode IV, A New Hope, Lucasfilm, and now its parent company Disney, have been leveraging the popularity of the story to sell everything from burgers to vacations. Though Fox released the original Star Wars in only 42 theaters, by the end of its first week the film had made $3 million, and by the end of the summer it would rake in somewhere close to over $100 million. Adjusting for inflation, its box office haul was second to only Gone with the Wind. Initially, the marketing push for this film was scrappy, and the first unveiling of Lucasfilm at the 1976 Comic-Con consisted mainly of a presentation of some pieces of original art and a promotional poster that was handed out to fans who didn't necessarily know what to make out of it. Nevertheless, it became an instantaneous cultural phenomenon without the help of social networks. Now the Star Wars franchise is one of the most powerful brands, having built itself up for almost 4 decades. Star Wars hit big in the office sphere, but last year's release of Star Wars The Force Awakens marks the first time that the franchise is in full force on social media. Keep in mind, after all, that it has been 10 years since the last Star Wars installment, and after all, Star Wars Episode III Revenge of the Sith premiered in 2005 when Facebook was still in its infancy. Twitter didn't even exist yet, but in the intervening decades, social sharing entered hyperspeed. This time around, Star Wars mania is taking social media by storm. Millions of fans formed communities on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and so on, and the rate of interaction with the brand is huge. It's no wonder that the 2015 7th installment of the series, Star Wars The Force Awakens, triggered a frenzy across all social media channels. But just how big is the buzz? In total, Star Wars amassed 234 million interactions across its official social media accounts from January through November of 2015. So next, let's take a look at IBM Watson Analytics for social media regarding Star Wars The Force Awakens and how it can be used to market products.
With self-service and data discovery's cornerstones, Watson Analytics is enabling business users to find answers on their own. Watson Analytics for social media applies the same principles to highly valuable, unstructured social media data. In this short demonstration, you'll see how any business analyst can quickly build a project, identify trends, key influencers, and sentiment to arrive at actionable insights from social media through dynamic discovery, all without having to enlist IT support. I work at a major toy distribution company in an operations role. I've been asked to review Star Wars merchandise trends to ensure we have proper inventory for the upcoming holiday season due to the hype around the upcoming movie. Last year, the company did not meet its targets because we underestimated certain market trends and therefore did not have enough inventory. The executive team is determined not to let this happen again. My marketing director had mentioned in passing that there was a new service called Watson Analytics for social media, and it was really easy to use. I will want to identify if there are emotional connections to the characters based on the marketing Star Wars and Disney has done to date. I'm personally super excited that by using Watson Analytics for social media, I don't have to spend hours manually stitching together internet research. What I find fascinating is that as I start entering my movie titles, the panel on the right is giving me suggestions. Watson Analytics for social media is already starting to show its cognitive side and think about my topic Star Wars. I have to pay close attention to syntax. Now I know that both Star Wars, the 2-word title, and the hashtag are both relevant. Something else that stands out to me in this suggestions panel is that The Force Awakens shows up everywhere. Some people may refer to the movie name rather than the movie franchise, and I should certainly capture both. By following these suggestions, my social media analysis becomes more comprehensive. Familiar references to Darth Vader and C-3PO in the suggestions provide assurance that I'm getting accurate data in my upcoming analysis. similar to a compass pointing north. The Force Awakens is producing very different suggestions. In the previous suggestions, I saw references to C-3PO and Darth Vader, which I was expecting. I'm surprised R2-D2 is not surfacing in the suggestions. I'm certain that R2-D2 has a strong connection with audiences. Everyone loves R2. What I am seeing everywhere is Kylo Ren, BB-8, and Sphero. The word clusters provide context as BB-8 and Sphero occur together often, and this topic suggests there is a toy droid. A quick internet search confirms that Sphero offers an app-enabled robot toy in the form of the new BB-8 droid character. The topic above alludes to discussions on action figures for Star Wars characters, including Kylo Ren, which is also a new character in the upcoming movie. There are so many characters, old and new, it's now not obvious which characters will be the new favorite toy that tops everyone's shopping list. I'm certain I do not want to run out of inventory for the next hot toy. To take a deeper look at the data, I want to break down the data around these key characters using themes. Let me start with the usual cast of characters we all know and love. I'm hoping to find the next sleeper hot toy. These dynamic suggestions guide me as to how I should be breaking down the topics for a deeper understanding, particularly by calling out these new characters that were off my radar. I definitely need to capture BB-8 and Kylo Ren in my analysis to ensure I do not miss anything. I'm very confident in the data because of these suggestions, and I'm very excited to see the results. Interesting, I have a pre-configured set of visualizations for geography, sentiment, authors, and demographics. I see both my topics trending upward, which is a good sign. The Star Wars brand is certainly showing to be strong, which is not surprising. I really want to see the breakdown of the topics on the characters. Wow, there is a lot of conversations going on for BB-8 compared to most of the other characters. Kylo Ren is also strong, but not quite as strong. However, I'm very surprised at the share of voice for R2. I would have thought it would be stronger. The topic suggestions are proving to be extremely valuable since BB-8 was off my radar, and I'm very glad I included BB-8 and Kylo Ren in my analysis. Overall, the sentiment is generally positive for both Star Wars and The Force Awakens. I'm easily able to filter on the characters as well as many of the other metrics, which is very useful. The sentiment is much more positive for BB-8 than the average, while Kylo Ren is much more closely aligned with the average. It seems like the BB-8 droid is going to be hot, could even be bigger than R2-D2. I'm not surprised that Star Wars is well known around the globe, but my focus is in the United States. Given that BB-8 is an app-enabled robot, the prime sales channels should be aimed at the tech-savvy customers, and I certainly need to make a recommendation to review our inventory levels, especially in the West Coast. We need to manage our supply chain to meet the demands for the BB-8 and Sphero products in the market, as well as ensure that we are properly stocked for the holiday season and beyond. I see that the main social communication source is Twitter. That is not surprising, but I need to know who the main influencers are. Knowing who the influencers are in my region is critical to ensure our team can engage with the influencers to support our efforts going forward with the holiday season. I'm finding that the pre-configured visualizations are intuitive and relevant. I love how without any major clunky configuration panels, I was able to build a social model, identify trends, key influencers, and sentiment, and devise a recommendation for the next steps, all without having to enlist IT support or spend days copying and pasting internet articles. Best of all, the topic suggestions provided me the data discovery and guided me to accomplish this all by myself.
Meanwhile, Disney itself has reportedly spent less on marketing the film than it might have spent promoting other blockbusters, according to a report from the Wall Street Journal. The first Star Wars movie in a decade, and the first Star Wars of the social media age, featured classic characters not seen in 32 years, such as Princess Leia and Chewbacca. This film was so highly anticipated by the franchise's huge fan base that advertising was arguably unnecessary. A poster and an opening date might be all that were needed to make the December release the #1 movie of the year. Now, Disney didn't propose anything quite so radical, but Disney's marketers did question whether the company needed to spend the more than $100 million that is typical of global advertising campaigns for major Hollywood movies. Despite Disney's less aggressive approach, The Force Awakens has smashed box office records, having now racked up over $900 million in North American receipts and passed the $2 billion mark globally. While Disney wasn't setting spending records, others promoting Star Wars were. Companies eager to appeal to fans spent about $38 million on The Force Awakens related TV ads in the US. That is a record for co-branding ads on a movie. Star Wars itself generated a huge impact through its own marketing channels, but that was not enough for the giant brand. The studio selected 7 companies as official brand partners for the Force Awakens campaign. Hollywood speak for companies that buy ads promoting the movie and their products together. The partners in this case include Verizon, General Mills, Google, Duracell, Subway, and Procter & Gamble companies, CoverGirl makeup brand. All of these non-competing brands participated in Force Friday, a merchandising event held on September 4th, 2015. Fans actually came up with Star Wars Day. They decided it would be May 4th because it sounds very similar to the tagline, "May the Force be with you." The creators of Star Wars had nothing to do with this. However, they did not resist it, and in fact, they have embraced it. There is a May 4th section on their website. They also use the social media platforms to retweet and share information that fans post about the day. As you expect for a film franchise, video content proves to be the biggest boon for the brand. With the release of each new teaser trailer, Star Wars engagement surged, and the Star Wars The Force Awakens official teaser 2 is the most engaging piece of content for the franchise to date.
The Force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it. You have that power too.
Chewie, we're home.
With 70.5 million views. That's a mega viral video even for Star Wars standards, earning 31 times more views than the brand's average. Overall, Star Wars averages 868,951 views for every video posted on its official YouTube account. That level of attention dwarfs the engagement seen by leading brands on YouTube, including GoPro, Coca-Cola, BMW, GE, and even the new owner of the Star Wars franchise, Disney. Star Wars is everywhere. The communication around The Force Awakens is consistent and persistent on major social channels, such as YouTube with more than 1 million subscribers, Instagram with 2.7 million followers, Facebook with 16 million fans, and Twitter with 1.8 million followers, and also on social blogs, podcasts, games, and apps. The Force was strong in the digital and mobile space, where the content plan ran at a different speed. It was much faster, much more conversational and fluid. With StarWars.com as the hub and social platforms, yes, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, but also a super cool Tumblr blog and even a well-managed presence on Google Plus as the spokes. There were new pieces to the story revealed multiple times a day. We shouldn't forget that brands have to earn their way into users' social feeds. Star Wars earned its way into those feeds and the right to stay by publishing and sharing great content. A new app was launched, games arrived, all feeding elements of the overall story. What Disney does, it does exceptionally well. And the success of Star Wars, The Force Awakens, is the embodiment of what can happen when you marry a strong brand with a smart marketing campaign. May the force of innovation be with you, social media marketers around the globe, and may you succeed in becoming the Jedi of your brand.